over. My loves, welcome back to my channel. So today we got another story time coming at y'all, of course, because it's Thursday. But today is going to be a little bit different and a little bit more special. Why? Because this is a collab video. Collabing with another story time YouTuber, and I'm sure you guys are going to love her. I will leave all of her social media information and her channel information down in the description box below. But today I'm going to be collabing with the beautiful Trinity Jae. If you guys have not watched her videos, you guys are missing out, girl. She has amazing videos. She's hilarious. She has so many stories. You like run out of videos on my channel, head over to her channel. So her video is also going to be about the time that she almost got jumped. Apparently this happens all the fucking time. So if you guys want to check out her video, go over to her channel, show her some love, and let her know that Nikki Glamour sent you. First, before we get into the video, today's glamour shot of the day is Miss Pinche Angel. Okay, wait. Hold up, girl. Hold on, wait. The name that you put on your photo made me laugh so fucking hard, okay? Thank you for making me laugh, girl. You look amazing and gorgeous. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. You guys know that I appreciate every single one of you guys. I would not be here without you. Now let's get into the video. So before we get any further into the story, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit more of an in-depth kind of view of my high school career, okay? I've noticed that a lot of you have had questions about how the hell I managed to go to 4 schools, but then I'm saying that I went to this school last year, so let me break it down for you. We're about to have class, okay? This is the only dry board that I had in my house, but we're gonna use it, and I just want y'all to ignore like the little calendar, okay? Because that's not what we're paying attention to. So, we have, that's a school. That's how I draw a fucking school. Okay. So we got 4 boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those represent the 4 schools that I went to, okay? So now let's look at the first school, which is here. I started my freshman year at this school. I was only there for about 3 months, I want to say, because I went to my second school, which is this one here, and this school right here is the one that was a fucking terror. It was terrible. I had all of my fights here. I was always getting in trouble here, so this was the shitty fucking school. I went to the second school for the rest of my 9th grade year, okay, and then I stayed there through my 10th grade year as well. So I was there for a year and a half, like a school year wise, okay? Then we go over here. I started here my junior year, 11th grade, okay? And I stayed there for, I want to say like a semester. I was there for a minute. Then I went to this last school. This was my favorite school ever. I had so much fun here. I made all of my friends here. I was on the step team here. Stayed here for the remainder of my 11th grade year and my senior year. Yes. So like it's like a lot of half years, like semester, you know what I'm saying? So yes, I went to all 4 schools. I could, you know, name all of my mascots if I really wanted to, but you see, my glamazons happen to be some crazy ass fucking detectives, so I'm not about to do that. But yes, I went to 4 schools. So for those of you thinking that I'm making shit up, trust me, 1, I'm not that creative, and 2, I don't understand why anybody would say that they went to 4 schools, because that shit fucking sucked. So, moving on. This story is going to be about the time that I almost got jumped. Now, this was at the second school that most of my stories originate from, because that school was fucking terrible. The people that went there were terrible, the staff was terrible, every fucking body was terrible. So, this takes place when I moved from my first school to my second school. Like when I was brand new to the second school, I was a freshman in high school, and so I was coming into this new school, right? When I started this school, I was the new girl. I was still very quiet. I was a freshman. I was kind of scared. And immediately upon walking into that damn school, I already knew that this place was like a fucking jungle. There were already like so many cliques. Just fucking rude ass bitches that like were rude for no fucking reason. So I was like, I need to lay low. I don't want to start no shit. I just had a feeling. I noticed that I was having class with this one girl, and I kept having class after class. Like our schedules were basically fucking the same. I saw her all the time, and we will call her Alicia, okay? So Alicia was one of the first friends that I made at this school, and she was really fun, kind of loud, but she seemed to kind of stay out of drama from what I could see, and I basically didn't want shit to do with the girls that started drama or anything like that. So I felt like she didn't really start drama. She wasn't really in drama. So, you know, she's cool. Being the new girl comes with a lot of pressure and a lot of shit to worry about, in the sense that you are walking in to a school where cliques have already been made. People already have their friends. I had a gym class, and in this gym class there were a lot of boys in this gym class. It was like predominantly a dude class. There were like, I want to say 4 or 5 of us girls. I had no idea. I wanted to get PE out of the way as far as my schedule was concerned, so I took PE. Like any fucking other problem, usually, it starts with boys. I didn't notice anybody. I didn't notice anything. I didn't have any crushes. I had been there for like a blink of an eye. So like I hadn't even gotten settled, okay? I remember that I had started that new school, I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks. I want to say 2 weeks. 2 weeks before Christmas break. Alicia and I started becoming friends and hanging out during lunch, and I was meeting people through her and, you know, trying to meet people as I was going. And immediately within the first week of being there, I noticed that there was a lot of hostile shit going on. A lot of people there were violent. There were so many fights, so much arguing. Like, I shit you not, there was not one lunch period that I didn't fucking hear girls and sometimes dudes fucking arguing, like about to beat each other's ass. And I remember one day we were in the lunchroom, and it was literally like 2 or 3 days before we had winter break, okay? So we were in the lunchroom, and I remember Alicia bringing these 2 guys, 2 of them, to our table. Never met them a day in my life, and I recognized one of them, and he was in my gym class, but I honestly didn't know his name. Like, I didn't know who the fuck he was. She brought him to the table to meet me and was like, oh, this is my new friend Nikki. We'll call him Luke. I don't know why, but we'll call him Luke, okay? She brought Luke, and that's the one that I recognized from my PE class. He wasn't like amazing looking. He wasn't bad looking. He was kind of average looking. Like, unbeknownst to me, this dude right here, Mr. Luke, was like one of the most popular guys there in the freshman class. I don't think in the school, but in the freshman class, he was the most popular freshman, okay? He was a football player, like fucking typical jock, and he went through girls apparently like fucking water. I did not know this about him. I was just meeting this random guy. His name was Luke, and I was like, cool, nice to meet you, dude. All right, like, peace the fuck out. That was it. That was the whole interaction between us. This was like 3 days before winter break. The next day comes around, and I go to school, and I'm in my classes, and Alicia comes up to me, and she was like, girl, I gotta talk to you about something. Like, so you remember that guy that I brought over to the table yesterday at lunch? And I was like, which one? And she was like, Luke. She's like, the shorter one, because he was pretty short. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I said, yeah, I remember him. I was like, why? And she was like, girl, he has such a crush on you. Like, he likes you a lot. She was like, and he wants to know if, like, you'd be interested in being his girl. What the fuck? Okay, wait, hold up. Wait a minute, okay? First of all, I want to know why this little boy sent yo ass to come and ask me. That's 1. 2, how the fuck does he want me to be his girlfriend, but he met me for like 5 seconds? This is when Alicia broke it down for me, okay? So she was like, this dude is really fucking popular. Like, he has had so many girls, and I've never seen him go after a girl like he's going after you. This is how arrogant and how much of a fucktard this guy was, because he told Alicia to tell me he wanted an answer as to whether or not I wanted to be his girl before Christmas break. In 2 days. No, I do not know him. I do not want to be his girlfriend. I don't give a fuck who he is. Like, he ain't nobody to me, so no. So I told her no. And so she went ahead and relayed that message to Luke, and I was just like, so we go on to Christmas break, and I have a great Christmas and everything else, and then we come back to school. Now this is about, like, what is it? A week and a half, 2 weeks off of school for Christmas break, right? So all this time had passed, and we go back to school. I thought for sure that by me saying no, that he was going to lose interest and that I wouldn't hear from him again. So we get back to school, everything's good, I'm trying to get back into my routine, and I go to my first day of PE since winter break. The girls stayed in a group together because there were so many dudes that we just kind of like huddled up together and stayed together throughout the whole class. So, you know, I met up with my girls and we were running slash jogging slash walking around the gym, right? So we're running around the gym like this and the boys are running and we're kind of doing one of these, right? And then I see this guy out of the corner of my eye cut across the gym towards us. And I was like, what the fuck? And I looked and it was Luke. And Luke was running his ass over to our side of where we were running. He came straight up to me and started running next to me. And for the first like minute that he was there, like 60 seconds, didn't say a word, just kept fucking running. And I'm just sitting there like, fuck. And I'm looking at my girls like, the fuck is he doing? So finally he looked over at me and he said, how was your Christmas? I was like, it was good. How was yours? And he was like, oh, it was great. He said, except for one thing. And I said, what? And he said, there was something that I really wanted for Christmas and I didn't get it. And I was like, oh, really? What was that? And he was like, you. He fell right into that one. Okay, all right, you got me. Okay. I was awkward. So instead of having like a cool ass comeback, my ass looked at him and said, why? He said, because you said no. And I said no to you, or I said no to Alicia. And he said, to Alicia? And I said, well, there's your problem. He was like, okay, touche, touche. So, you know, we're kind of like starting to talk and my friends like start falling back a little bit. And so it's just like he and I running and talking. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get a feel for this dude. I don't think I like him like that, but like, let's see what this dude's about. Turns out he was pretty funny when he wanted to be. He could be sweet when he wanted to be. And so he kind of started fucking working on me, like being really sweet. I was honest with him and I told him, basically, in the grand scheme of things, I don't date guys that I don't know, 1. 2, I'm not really allowed to date, so it's not like we'd be able to like fucking go out to the movies and shit because my mama is crazy. And I always let boys know because I don't want them to have any type of expectations about our relationship. Like, no, I'm just gonna see you at school and that's it. So he was like walking me to class, carrying my books, sitting next to me at lunch. And he's doing all of this in front of everybody. Like everybody. Everybody in the lunchroom, everybody in the halls. Y'all know how high school is. It was about like a month and a half that he had been like just constantly. He even brought me like flowers to school. He brought me some Chipotle. Y'all know that the best way to get to my heart is through my stomach. Bring me some food. And he did all this sweet shit. And he seemed like a normal guy. I hadn't heard anything. Like nobody was coming out of the woodwork and saying anything bad about this guy. So I was like, okay, he's sweet. Like, almost 2 months later, he asks me out again and says, you know, I've been around you every day. I really like you. What do you think about you being my girlfriend? So basically, he asked me to be his girlfriend. And fucking worst mistake ever, I said yes, like a fucking dumbass. Everything was fantastic. We were like the cutest couple ever. He would like dote on me hand and foot. He was like always being really sweet and whatever. But then shit started to change. I started noticing that he was becoming like snippy and like really grouchy and grumpy. He would get really snippy with me and that's a fucking problem for me. I don't know what it is about when men get snippy with me. Like I fucking hate that shit. Like I just feel like men need to have a certain respect for women and I never go out of my way to disrespect a man. So if I'm giving you respect, give me that shit in return. Because if I hear bad tone in your voice when you're talking to me, that's gonna be a problem. And I'm gonna let you know that that's a problem, and that's exactly what the fuck happened, okay? There was one day that it was like after school, he was getting all of his shit out of his locker. Everything was fine up until this point. He was pulling all of his shit out of his locker. He had practice after school. He was like running a little late, even though it was fucking in the school, so I don't even know why he was acting like that. And he was just really fucking grumpy, okay? He would usually walk me outside to the buses and then go from there to his practice. So that's what we did every single day, was he would walk me out to the back of the school where everybody used to stand to wait for the buses. He would wait for me to get on the bus, and then he'd fucking peace out and go to his practice. I thought this day was gonna be the same. Are you okay? And I was like, what's the matter? Because he was like fucking just pulling shit out of his locker, and he just seemed really mad, and he slammed his locker door shut. And what do you mean? He was like, I'm fine. And I was like, okay. I was like, don't talk to me like that. I was like, I don't know what your fucking issue is. If you're having a bad day, say you're having a bad day. I said, but don't take that shit out on me. And this boy, you would have thought that I slapped him in his fucking face. He's so fucking dramatic, okay? When I said that, and I said, don't talk to me like that. If you're having a bad day, just say you're having a bad day, and I'll fucking leave you alone, you know? I was like, but don't take it out on me. He responded with dropping his backpack on the floor and standing there and saying, really? Really? And he was like, so I can't have feelings? So like this fucking turned into a huge ass argument in the middle of our fucking hallway by his locker. And so people passing by can hear us. And I start getting loud. When I start feeling like a man is trying to handle me, I start getting loud. Like, no, you got the wrong one. I'm not that one. You're not just gonna say whatever the fuck you want to me and I'm just gonna sit here and submit. No, bitch, no. But we start arguing. And I was like, what the fuck is your problem? I was like, look, I'm not gonna sit up here and fucking waste my time on trying to figure out what's wrong with you. And he was like, oh, waste your time. Now I'm a waste of time? And I just remember that one thing that I said stuck with him. And he stuck with that shit and was just like, oh, so now I'm a waste of time. Sorry, let me get back into character. Oh, so now I'm a waste of time? Oh, okay, all right, I see how it is. Well, how about I don't waste your fucking time no more? It's over. I was like, okay, peace out. Like, I don't fucking need to be dealing with this shit anyway. Fuck you. So I left. So that's how fucking quick it happened. Now, I'm sure by this point, you're probably wondering, Nikki, I thought this was about girls trying to jump you. It is. Wait for it. So we break up, and by the next morning, everybody fucking knows about it. My friends are coming up to me, girl, are you okay? I heard you guys broke up. Don't worry, y'all will get back together. And honestly, I wasn't tripping. Like, I wasn't like in love with him. I liked him carrying my books and shit, and I liked, you know, the fact that he was nice and brought me food. But other than that, like, there was nothing, like, we were kids, you know what I'm saying? In classic fuckboy fashion, I remember one day we were at lunch, and there's like this little outdoor area. It's like a courtyard that we used to have, and anytime like we didn't want to eat lunch inside, we would go chill out there. So that's where we were, and Luke came out with his stupid fucking friends and decided that he was going to talk to my friend that was literally sitting next to me and start talking about me, like start talking shit. I was like, oh yeah, you know, it just didn't work out because apparently I'm a waste of time. So, you know, I'm not trying to be fucking with somebody that thinks I'm a waste of time. And so the whole time she's like, okay. And like, she's sitting next to me and I'm like, this dude, like, so I looked up at him and I was like, Luke, if you have something to say to me, go ahead and say it. And he did the classic stupid fucking shit and looked at his friend and was like, you guys hear anything? Do you guys hear anything? What are you, fucking 9? Do you hear anybody? Do you hear anybody? Like, shut up. I was like, what the fuck ever, Luke. I was like, fuck you. Just fucking stay away from me. And he was like, oh, fuck me. And I was like, yeah, fuck you. And he was like, all right. So school goes on as usual, and me and Luke were just like avoiding each other, coexisting. Shit started to feel normal again. And it was fine. It was a Friday, I remember that, and we had gone out, me and my friends had gone out to the back of the school to wait for all of our buses. I was standing out there with all of my friends waiting for the buses, and we were like waiting on this long ass curb on the back of the school, and all of our buses would come up. So we were waiting on the buses, and we were just chilling, hanging out or whatever, and I looked over and I saw Luke, which I thought was very weird because Luke didn't ride our buses. Luke always had practice. And like, Luke was never out there except for when he and I used to date. So I was like, what the fuck is he doing out here? He made sure that I saw him. Like, he walked right in front of me to make sure that I saw him, and he went and sat down next to this girl. This girl, fuck you guys, she was huge. Like, not like fat, but she was really tall, okay? She was taller than most of the guys in our school, including all of the upperclassmen, like seniors and shit. She was over 6 foot, okay? And she was Samoan. She was a big, big girl. And she was like a junior, so she was like 17 years old. I'm fucking 15. I was probably about 5'2" in high school, so I'm like fucking little as shit. So in comparison to me, she was fucking huge, and like she just would stand up, like all the dudes called her bro or dude, and she was like friends with all the guys, and she smoked a lot of weed. Like she was one of them, okay? And she had a shit ton of hair and like down to her waist, and so that just made her look even bigger. So he sat down next to this girl, and so I'm sitting there and I keep looking over and I see him start pointing at me and pointing at me, and so this big ass girl is looking at me, and I'm like, the fuck is he doing? Our buses start coming in, and I see my bus, and my friend and I get on the bus. All of a sudden, I see that girl, we'll call her Leila, like Leila Ali. I see Leila get up and get on my bus, and I've never seen her on my bus before. There was not like any type of let me check your ID to get on the bus. So, like, you just got on a fucking bus. I used to know like my friends who would like go to their friend's house and just get on another fucking bus. Like it was like our own public transportation pretty much. You could get on any bus you wanted to. So she hopped on my bus, and she had 2 girls with her. And so my stomach dropped, and I was like, she's never been on this bus before. Luke just talked to her. What the fuck is going on? Leila gets on the bus with her 2 friends, and she ends up sitting on the same row. So she ends up sitting right next to me. So like me and her are basically sitting next to each other, but with the aisle in the middle of us. So my heart was beating so fucking fast. This bitch was huge, okay? Like, I shit you not, she was probably bigger than my big brother. My big brother is like 6'4", and like she oh, fuck.
Yeah, Nikki, super observant. Now fix it. Half the fucking video is over.
God damn it. My heart started beating really fast. I remember feeling really scared and sick to my stomach. And I was like, am I gonna have to fight this big bitch? Like, she was like a fucking giant next to me. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, fucking huge, okay? I don't know what it is with people in high school, but they like having a conversation about you in front of you, but not to you. You know what I'm saying? So she started doing that. So she was talking to her friends. One of her friends was like, the fuck are we doing on this bus, man? And she was like, oh, I just have something to take care of. I have this little bitch that I gotta take care of. She was fucking with my little brother. And they were like, who? And she said, Luke. So I'm just gonna whoop her ass because she don't know who she's fucking with. I was like, oh my god. Y'all know Nikki can't just sit there and let that shit happen. I don't give a fuck how big you are. I don't give a fuck how scared I am. I just don't deal with shit like that well, and I wish maybe I could have handled this a different way, but I sure did. I looked over at her and I said, are you talking about me? She looked at me without skipping a beat and said, sure the fuck am. I was like, and what's the problem? And she was like, you know what the fuck the problem is. She was like, you know what you did. And I was like, did what? And she was like, you already fucking know. You want to sit up here and act stupid? You trying to act stupid? And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, Luke's your little brother. And she was like, he's kind of like my little brother. I've known him my whole life. And I was like, okay. And she was like, so when someone fucks with him, they're fucking with me. We're gonna handle this when you get off the bus. And I was like, oh fuck, are you kidding? So this whole time she's talking in this really loud voice, and everybody on the bus can start fucking hearing her basically tell me that she's gonna whoop my ass the minute I step off this goddamn bus. So the bus driver ends up hearing that there's gonna be a fight, and she stops the fucking bus. Now, the bus driver was very, very cool. She was one of the coolest ladies ever. She used to let us listen to like the hip hop and pop radio station like all the time on the bus, and like she was just really chill and cool. But she stopped that fucking bus. She stopped that bus. She looked in that mirror and she said, I don't want no fights on my bus. Y'all get off now and handle what you need to handle. I was like, oh fuck, like I'm about to fight this bitch. And it wasn't too far from my house at this point, and I knew that I could walk from where it was to my house. I had no choice, you guys. Like, I had no fucking choice. I had 3 bitches on the bus, one of which that she was saying she was gonna kick my ass, and I had no choice. I had to get off the bus at some point. So my ass got up in front of everybody, and it was so fucking embarrassing and so scary. And I hear her and her friends getting off the bus with me, and the bus stopped right by these apartments, and there was like this big open field, and I have 2 choices. Either I can bitch out and I can fucking take off running, and maybe her big ass can't keep up with me, I don't know, or I do my best, I go down with the fight, let's see what the fuck happens. I just felt like this was such a fucking shitty thing for her and her friends to do, knowing how little I was, and this had nothing to do with them. I didn't do shit to Luke. So I felt like I was in the right, and I'm gonna fight for what's right, and I was right. So I stood there and I dropped my backpack and I said, if you want to fucking fight, we can fight. It was her and then 2 of her friends. It was like some shit out of a movie. And the bus starts slowly taking off. You could tell that everybody wanted to see what was gonna happen. And so she's like pulling up her hair, you know, getting ready to fight. And I was like trying to like come up with some kind of plan on how the fuck I'm gonna beat this giant bitch. And then her 2 friends start pulling up their hair too and taking off their earrings and doing all that. And I was like, what the fuck? I just stood there. I stood there and I kept looking at her. I kept my eyes on Leila, and she walked towards me, and I held my breath, and I was like, here we go. Like, I'm not gonna fucking back down. These bitches are gonna fucking feel me go down. Like, they're gonna feel me go down. Like, I was full on looking up at her. She reached down and she grabbed my backpack and pushed it into my chest and said, I can't fucking fight you, you're too little. What the fuck was all this for? What do you mean I'm too little? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was trying to get myself all prepared. You got me goddamn near shitting my pants, thinking that your big ass is gonna come at me with your 2 fucking friends. I could have taken her friends any fucking day. They were normal size. But her ass? She was like the fucking Jolly Green Giant up in that bitch. That had to have been the scariest moment in high school. Like, I just never had an issue with someone like that, and I knew there was never a point in my life, other than that one, that I knew for a fact I was gonna lose a fight. She let me go, and I went home fucking shook. I was shook, and I was like, oh my god, like, this dude really was about to have me jumped because I told him to watch his tone. I had a special kind of hatred for him when I got back to school. It was a lot to fucking go through because a girl told you to watch your fucking tone. I left him alone after that. Like, I wasn't fighting with him. I wasn't trying to get back with him. Like, I didn't spread no rumors about him. I didn't do shit to him. I was able to get his little ass back. I got my revenge on his ass, and I will tell you guys that story in another story time. But this was a story about the time that my little ass almost got jumped by like this 6'5" girl. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you guys did, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments if you guys have ever had this happen to you. If you guys have ever almost been jumped or been jumped, God forbid. And of course, don't forget to check out my girl Trinity Jae's channel to hear about her time of her almost getting jumped. I will leave all of her information down in the description box below, including all of her social media platforms, so you guys can follow her, show her some love, let her know that Nikki Glamour sent you. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my videos. I love you guys. So many more videos coming, so many more projects coming. I'm so excited. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be notified of all of my new videos and story times. I have a new story time here on my channel every single Thursday. Thank you guys so much for checking out my videos, and I will see you in my next one. Peace.